What only exists to piss people off? Create an account to view the rest of this post. God, this is annoying. Some time ago I was researching a topic for an assignment I had, and literally 90% of the websites I went to only displayed the first paragraph or two, and I had to create an account or pay for the rest. Try going for open access journals, and hope it covers what you need. Also, go to the library and ask if they have access to the journals you need. The academia thing, though, kept emailing me about how I appear in this or that articles, but apparently I need to subscribe and pay money to see them. That freaking plastic packaging that is impossible to rip open and hurts you when you cut it with scissors. They always wrap your new store-bought scissors in this stuff too, so some sick person out there knows and is laughing at all of us. You can blame thieves for that. The packaging is designed to do exactly what you said, to prevent people from just tearing it open and stealing the stuff inside. Erasers that only smudge. Not sure if it is a thing in other countries, but when you try to erase pencil with a pen eraser and it gets contaminated so you can't use it again. Fun fact, if you have a good eraser that's starting to smudge, just rub the end on some, preferably bad, carpet to break off the graphite-stained parts. The pop-up subscribe to our newsletter message on websites that cover the entire page. Or the choice between, sure, send me updates, and no thanks, I'd rather decay in my skin prison and perish with no meaning and satisfaction in my life. I hate it when they do the please disable your ad blocker and whitelist us when I just want to see one article. Automated call routers that ask you to enter your customer ID and date of birth and zip code and great-grandfather's shoe size to get to the right person, only to have that person then ask you for the same information you just entered to get to them in the first place. Robo-voice, enter your 16-digit account number. You enter as quickly as you can, then when you are 6 digits in. Robo-voice, I didn't get that. Please enter your 16-digit account number. Or where their customer support line only has a robot and you can't talk to a real person. That tiny invisible X on game ads. And its more evil sibling, the fake X on game ads. Some ads give you another page with another small X after clicking the first one. Like, come on, I saw your ad and I clearly don't care. When I just want to read a recipe and then I have to scroll through a long diatribe of the soft winds that blew off the Mediterranean while in my cabana on vacation, providing the inspiration for this olive tapenade recipe. Seriously, I just want to try a new recipe. My grandmother Gertrude Jessica Millicent Smith IV, who once was the president of her local knitting club, and owned 69 cats, used to bake these cookies every Wednesday with the flesh of her enemies. I could remember the delicious smell wafting over the house. It reminds me of when she used to bring me to knitting club with her. They do that because if the way Google lists stuff, like if they don't have X amount of content, it's not going to show up. The good sites will usually have a jump to recipe button at the top, but sometimes you just gotta scroll. Stickers that come apart when you peel them off and leave paper/adhesive residue behind that you have to try to scrape off. Especially when they slap one of those bad boys into the middle of my brand new non-stick cooking pan. Why, just why? And then you scrape the paint under the sticker trying to get it off. Itchy tags on clothing. Whoever started the print-on tags was a genius. They have gotten larger over the years and there are more of them as they are aiming for instructions in every language. Those generic cereal bags with the resealable push zipper that when you open the bag, it rips past the zipper and now you have a hole in the bag beside the zipper. Child-proof caps on arthritis medication. That's terrible in every way. First off, child-proof caps don't keep children out. Second, if you have arthritis, you can't open the child-proof cap without severe difficulty. Jeans that appear to have pockets but don't. Once I was pointing out that my jeans only had fake pockets and a drunk frat boy hugged me and said I'm so sorry. Mosquitoes. There's been some stuff done that alters the genes of female mosquitoes, I believe, where technically they are female, but their mouth is shaped like a male mouth. Since females are the only mosquitoes that bite, the altered ones are not able to do this and spread disease, such as malaria. Their reproductive organs are also altered so they are unable to lay eggs. Ticks and bed bugs. As far as I know, nothing eats ticks and bed bugs. Well, okay, some birds do eat ticks off of other animals, but I'm sure they'd be fine without them and find food elsewhere. Long drugstore receipts. Ever notice how the majority of long receipts, unless you bought a lot of stuff, are just marketing and other shit? What a waste. Strings coming out of clothing, and when you pull it you get a massive hole in your clothes. My dad would use a sewing needle to get a piece of white thread still on the spool onto the outside of his dark jacket. He would keep the spool hidden in a pocket. When people would attempt to pick the little piece of white thread off his jacket, they would get a never-ending piece of thread. My dad would get a good laugh out of this. Bus schedules. You think they'll actually come at that time? No, you poor simple fool, they'll either show up 3 minutes before that time or 10 minutes after that time. That listed time is meaningless to them. Also, at least here in Montreal, after 30 minutes of wait, 3 buses for same route will come nose to ass. If you are a commuter watching them in desperation from across the road, waiting for signal to turn walking, they will all leave, last 2 of them empty. And now you will wait for another 30 minutes. You can actually make them run on time if you convert some lanes to bus lane and give them priority signaling. But any attempt to improve public transit incites a riot among all the people who want to drive their own single-occupancy car into the most congested part of their city. One-ply toilet paper. Who invented that shit? People with septic tanks that can't handle 2-ply. This is also why you often see this in public places, like gas stations. Sure, people might use more TP to compensate, but you reduce the risk of costly plumbing issues. That puddle of water that you accidentally step on while wearing socks. Or shoes that have a crack in the sole and draw water into the shoe by sheer magic sucking power. The DMV/Department of Public Safety. Let me just mail my shit in. Why do I need to take time off work to stand in line for 2 hours? Makes me miss Arizona, where you show up with basically only a pulse and 30 minutes later you get a license that expires when you're 65. I mean, some stuff could be done just by mailing stuff in or going online or whatever, but the DMV would still need to exist to administer driving tests and such. Now, the DMV may need to exist, but whether the DMV needs to be so insanely slow and inefficient is a different issue. Rolling coal. For everyone who is too lazy to look it up, here's a quote from Wikipedia. Rolling coal is the practice of modifying a diesel engine to increase the amount of fuel entering the engine in order to emit large amounts of black or grey sooty exhaust fumes into the air. I didn't care until I bought a convertible. Then I thought I should be able to discharge a firearm from a moving vehicle. Scam phone calls. I still don't understand how people fall for those things. Guy with a thick foreign accent calls me using a local number to ask for my credit card info. Sounds legit to me. Everything annoying on airplanes. Baggage fees, cramped seating, All that is designed to be just uncomfortable enough to get you to seriously consider buying first-class tickets on your next trip. They are normalizing being treated like animals, so you can justify them charging you to be treated with decency. Or, trying to fit as many people into a flying tube as possible. Business is business. I like being able to fly anywhere in the world for less than $1,000 and will take less elbow room. I think this would go better if all tickets were listed at first-class prices, then before checkout you can apply discounts, like the $95 no leg room discount, the $50 no food and only flat drinks discount, etc. Less complaining. Those weird dividers on public benches that make it impossible for homeless people to lay down. When fighting homelessness doesn't mean trying to make sure people have homes. Definitely claw machines. They're programmed to not have enough tension on the claw or most of the time, so they always drop what they're carrying. I love them and win pretty regularly. A few simple tactics help improve your odds. You can't try for the item you want, you have to try for the item that is available. You have to be willing to waste a play to get an item into a better position. And you should be willing to play the same move a few times to wait for the claw tension to kick in. Homework and over-the-break projects. Homework was invented as a punishment. No, seriously, look it up. It actually was. Homework definitely should be optional, or spread out over such a long time that home life interference is minimal. Kids already spend nearly 40 hours a week in American schools,